What's going down? It's your boy, EJ Nduka, the judge. And we're here in New York, the Battle Riot. And make sure y'all tune into True Heel Heat. They got it going. I'll see y'all.
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube and Facebook for our NJPW, the new beginning in Sapporo, nights 1 and 2. Review. I've been doing so many previews. I get confused sometimes, folks. But yes, we are here to discuss the two huge shows from NJPW this past weekend in Sapporo for you to enjoy. I am here as always with the master of ceremonies for the past, present, and future of New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's your boy, J News.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good brother J News, and we're back at it again. SP3, it is Monday, right? Yeah, it's Monday.
It is Monday. It's Monday. We are live now. We are live.
We live now. Talking about this new beginning in Sapporo, these 2 dates, the 4th and the 5th. Got some things to discuss, SP3, just because we got to tell it how it is. We got to give the feedback, right? We don't have to necessarily throw anybody under the bus, but we got to give the feedback. We got to be honest with the people as to what went down in these two shows and what we thought happened and our points of views and perspectives. Enjoy the ride, folks. It's going to be a wild one.
It's going to be a wild one, folks, as always with our live streams for the reviews that we do for these big shows. Remember to drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, if you're with us live, sound off in the live chat. We want to hear your thoughts on NJPW, the new beginning in Sapporo, night 1 and 2. What did you think was the better night of the two nights? What did you think was the best match on the card? Because we will be discussing what we thought was the best match from either show, or top 3, top 2, whichever you want to do. We will discuss it, and we want to interact with all of you in the live chat. So that's the best way to do it, and that's the reason why we do these live streams with the reviews for these major shows. And new NJPW is starting off their new year running after Wrestle Kingdom 17 in Tokyo Dome on January 4th, as well as their NJPW versus Noah Wrestle Kingdom 17 in Yokohama Arena. This is the first major tour, and they're ending off with 3 huge shows. This is the first 2. On Friday, we are dropping our NJPW, the new beginning in Osaka review. But if you're a Patreon backer at patreon.com/True Hill Heat, for $3 a month, you'll get the preview for Osaka extra early. So become a Patreon backer for more exclusive content and early access to content like we're going to drop with our new beginning in Osaka preview. But like I said, sound off in the live chat. CM is here with us saying NJPW may have the best matches of the year. I mean, already the match of the year, my 6-star rated Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay is through January, J News. I will say it's going to be pretty tough for any match to even come close. The only closest I got was I rated 2 matches 4 3/4 stars, but I don't even have another 5-star match after watching Okada and Ospreay.
Well, you know, at this point, between what's been going down the first 2 months of the year so far, or a month and some change, right? Because it's only the 6th day of February so far.
Yes.
New Japan's holding it down in the matches of the year category so far. So yeah, I'm with you, man. Ospreay, Omega still at the top of the key. So it'll stay there until someone can knock them off. for the rest of the year?
I don't know. I think we gotta wait till we get to like G1 and
Maybe.
Forbidden Door, maybe.
Maybe.
But you got an Iron Man match coming up at Revolution for AEW, so maybe that. I don't know, but it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Iron Man match at Revolution. Is
Yeah,
that MJF?
Yeah,
Versus,
MJF and the American Dragon,
the American Dragon. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't know, but maybe that's an option. But sound off. Let us know, CM, how you rank it. What's your best matches that you've seen so far in 2023? We'll also discuss that. We got Frantic World here with us saying, "What's up, SP3 J News in chat? If you see this foot, you know Harlem is here with me in the background. She was being bad, so she's got to stay next to her Papa while Papa does work." But yeah, we're gonna talk all about NJPW, the new beginning in Sapporo, and of course we're going to give you our star ratings for the matches as well. But let's start off with well, I got move this out the way. Let's start off with night one in Sapporo. Night one in Sapporo was on February 4th, 2023. That was Saturday. The show started at about 3 a.m. Eastern time here in the United States, and we had an attendance of 3,073 for the show. This was New Japan's first official show with cheering crowds in about 3 years. What did you think about the crowd in Sapporo?
I thought the crowd in Sapporo was hype. It had been a while since I even recalled what a real New Japan crowd sounded like, and Sapporo came and they did the damn thing. I appreciate the people in Sapporo. It sounded like an old school New Japan show where everybody was just live, like the hot mics. Yeah, man, shouts to the fans in Sapporo. They did the damn thing. They came out, they supported, they cheered everybody they wanted to cheer, they booed everybody they wanted to boo. They reacted the way that they needed to react in order to elicit the response on screen that us, the fans watching at home, needed to have. So yeah, big props to the folks over in Sapporo.
Yes, I think Sapporo was a great place to start off. They're always very vocal, and they wanted to let themselves be heard. We got CM in the chat saying, "I don't know. I always miss the NJPW shows and cash y'all reviews." That's what you hear. I love it.
That's what we're here for.
That's the best answer. That's the best
answer,
CM. That's the best answer. Just watch the reviews. We here for it. But yes, let's start off with the opening match on night one, which was your boy, your favorite young lion. Say the name.
Oscar Lube.
Right, Oscar Lube going one-on-one with my favorite from the United Empire, the Great Okan, the champion of the British, the Revolution Pro British heavyweight champion, going one-on-one with the young lion here. This match was pretty simple. It was 7 minutes and 25 seconds. And of course, Great Okan getting the win with the Sheep Killer to get the win here. What did you think of this one? I gave it 2.25 stars. This was pretty basic, but Lube did get a bunch of offense. He has a lot of height and a lot of hops. When he gets up off of his feet, he definitely tries to jump out of the arena pretty much. But of course, Great Okan getting the win here. It was predictable in that fact.
Yeah, man. Props to the young boy, man. Because at the end of the day, for him to get off as much offense as he did, like you were saying before, definitely surprising to me. I thought Okan was gonna rest him to the do the amateur stuff and just keep him on the ground, but he wasn't able to. Lube got off good offense, good striking. That, like you said, the hops. That, like, I was waiting for the leg drop to come into play. I was like, when's he gonna hit the damn leg drop? I was like, he finally hit it. Nah, man, he looked good though. I'll say that. It was I didn't feel like it was your traditional young lion match in the sense of, like, you know how it's like the 5 moves of doom type thing, right? You have the basic submissions, the slam, maybe a chop here and there, whatever the case is, drop kicks and things of that nature. But it just looked like a more like a loose brawling style for Oscar Lube in a sense, which I thought was was key, especially in a match versus the Great Okan, because he's the master of all these styles, and it's like, okay, cool. So but we're seeing something a little bit different, and obviously, like, it's always going to be odd to see a guy who's 6'7" lose a match, right? So it's like, okay, what are they going to do here? How are they going to play this? And he got him with the Sheep Killer, so that was a good way. Rating 2.25 is good. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it wasn't like it was something that went all out, and they only won seven and some minutes anyway, so it was fine to me.
Yeah, it's pretty basic stuff, but I think Lube, he has potential, and yeah, he's huge. He's a huge dude. I'm not used to the young lions being that big, but CM saying they see a good future in him. Yeah, because they keep giving him these like one-on-one opportunities. They've had him teaming with Tomohiro Ishii coming up in Osaka. He's going to be teaming with Toriano, so they do see something in him.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Next, we had a multi-man matchup, as it was an 8-man tag with Rohei Uiwa teaming up with Ren Narita, El Desperado, and Minoru Suzuki, as we affectionately call them, not Suzuki-gun, versus the House of Tortures, Dick Togo, Sho, Yujiro Takahashi, and Evil. This one was your typical House of Torture stuff. They are the jokers. They do a lot of cheating, but it was really the story being told with the baby faces and Ren Narita's reluctantness to team up with Minoru Suzuki and see the good that Minoru Suzuki is trying to teach him. But in the end, regardless, Ren Narita was too much for Dick Togo, locking on the octopus hold, basically the Cobra twist, for the victory here in just under 9.5 minutes here. This was a good little matchup here, but it's House of Torture, so I always have to take a star or two off. But I gave it a 1 3/4. This was pretty basic as well, but I love the story being told with Red Narita slowly but surely coming to the side and seeing the good in Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah, man. I think that, I mean, obviously that was the purpose of the match, right? To tell the story, the reluctantness of Red Narita, not trusting Minoru Suzuki, not trusting Desperado, and understanding where everyone stands, where everyone stands here. Once everybody watches the New Beginning in Osaka preview on Friday, you'll understand as to where I'm going with all this. I put it out there to the world. I don't want it to happen necessarily, but yeah, New Japan.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away. Just tease it.
I don't know. But anyways, I would say that in these matches, usually what happens is the storyline stuff for Ren Narita, Suzuki, we had House of Torture doing the usual House of Torture stuff. This whole like retirement of the Never Overweight 6-man tag team championship thing, like that got old fast. I don't know why, but have the match already. Like at this point, we're dragging this out. And I don't necessarily appreciate that. I don't want to see more of the House of Torture than I have to. So let's make this happen, folks. Let's make this happen.
But this victory would be helping the case. Suzuki already made the challenge on the New Beginning in Nagoya, made the challenge for the Never Openweight 6-man tag team championships, and another victory here makes that case a little bit stronger. CM's not happy with us, saying, boo, that's not their fault. You're a hater. I guess she's talking about me. CM's always coming at me in the chat. And Frantic Raw says that match was fun to watch. I don't know if he's talking about the opener or this match here, but I think both matches were pretty good, to say the least, though. Let's move on to the third match on the card, where I think the quality went up just a little bit, as we had another eight-man tag team matchup. This time it was TMDK, my new favorite stable in New Japan, of Konosuke Fujiwara, teaming up with Shane Hayes, Mikey Nichols, and, of course, the NJPW World Television Champion Zack Sabre Jr. to verse the Chaos Trio of Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, Yoshihashi, and the Young Lion, Yuta Nakashima. So Chaos Young Lion duo. You had Bishamon, the IWGP World Tag Team Champions, in there. This was a preview of the following night when it would be TMDK versus Bishamon, as well as Tomohiro Ishii versus Zack Sabre Jr. TMDK, I love the storytelling being told here with TMDK, telling Vegeta to get in on the stomps. Also, you had a sequence where Zack Sabre Jr. was trying to teach Vegeta how to work over the ankle. It was basically Tekker's 101 during this matchup. Right. Yeah, the preview of Ishii and Zack Sabre Jr. always showing great chemistry with one another. Ishii coming out with the hard strikes, Zack Sabre Jr. trying to submit him. But in the end, it was another member of TMDK getting the submission win, and it was none other than Vegeta. Vegeta getting the win with a double wrist lock on Nakashima to gain the victory for TMDK. Like I said, I love this. I love the whole dynamic of TMDK with ZSJ being the front man. You got Mikey Nichols, Shane Hanks being the tag team of the group, and then you got Vegeta, who's being trained to become like his daddy Tekker. What did you think about this one here? I gave this one 3 stars.
This was a fun match to watch. Fujita learning the Tekkers on the job was hilarious, inside and outside of the ring. Zack Sabre Jr., one of the better comedy wrestlers in all of pro wrestling, folks. You guys don't give him enough credit for it, but he's one of the best. It's interesting. One of Fujita's nicknames is Ichiban Sweet Boy, and every time I hear it,
what a name!
Every time I hear it, I laugh out loud, and it's like, I'm gonna go with that. Instead of just calling him by his name, he is now and forever going to be Ichiban Sweet Boy here on True Heel Heat. So anytime you refer to Kosei Fujita, remember, he is Ichiban Sweet Boy. That is his name going forward. As for the team on the other side, look, I never look forward to the tag matches because everybody's over, the frame of it is always, it's the preview. When the match happens, when the matches happen, the individual matches, that's when I'll get into it or whatever. Yeah, man, the comedy stuff I'm here for it, man. The TMDK, always a blast to watch on screen. Not much from the Chaos faction in this particular match, from what I can recall watching. But like you said, good chemistry between Ishii and Zaki. The tag team match is where they lost me, man. And I'm a fan of TMDK. Don't get me wrong, but it's like until we get to night 2, that's when the tag team aspect of how the match came together was really more how the dynamic came to, the chemistry came to be between Bishamon and TMDK. So I didn't see it too much here, but in night 2, I was like, oh, okay, so this works. Okay.
Yeah, they had a couple of stories they were trying to tell here. Really, the tag team part of the preview was early on in the matchup, but as the match went on, we got a preview of Ishii and Zack Sabre Jr. and the overall story of ZSJ training Vegeta. But yeah, that match went 11 and a half minutes, but we had another 8-man tag team matchup following up the 4th match on the card, and this is previewing several different matches for Osaka, as you had the Bullet Club foursome of Taichi Ishimori, El Phantasmo, Kenta, and Switchblade Jay White versus the Hontai God combination of Master Wato, Hikuleo, Tama Tonga, the never openweight champion, and Hiroshi Takahashi. So this one was to preview several different matches in this one. Kenta versus Takahashi in Osaka, White versus Hikuleo. You're also going to preview the never openweight championship matchup of Tama Tonga and El Phantasmo, those 2 men going at it. I love the commentary really saying what the real story is going to be in Osaka, of who has the better knockout punch, of the sudden death versus the gun stun, and how both men always try to hit those winning shots all the time. So I like that story being, clearly told on commentary during the preview in this matchup here. But in the end, it was another preview, as it's going to be Master Wato versus Taiji Ishimori. And once again, Master Wado, he is walking, he's picking up speed again, J News, and he gets the win with a bridging pin for the victory, the jackknife hold for the win, pinning Ishimori ahead of their singles bout coming up in Osaka next Saturday. I thought this match was really fun with the dynamics being played out. Switchblade Jay White trying to avoid Hikuleo and that choke slam. Takahashi and Kenta going at it with Kenta getting under Tanahashi's skin, and then the Ichimori and Wado combination working well with one another here. So I gave this match also 3 stars. What did you think?
It's another multi-man tag match, man. You know how I feel about these multi-man tag matches.
J News does not
ridiculous.
like so many multi-man tag matches.
It's
here,
ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. But anyways, it served its purpose, obviously. Still building with Jay White and Hikuleo. Man, I don't even know what to say about what the hell's going on with these two at this point. It is what it is. You know, I think that depending as to where they want to take the whole Kenta versus Tanahashi match, we'll see how that breaks down. And then on top of everything else, you know, sudden death, the gun stun, playing that up on commentary, I thought was cool to see as to which move was the better knockout blow. For me, it's gonna be the gun stun at the end of the day. Sudden death is
sudden death. He doesn't have the metal in his foot anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So that
doesn't have the same effect.
It really doesn't. And obviously we had Wato and Ishimori there. If you folks did not watch the show live, I'll let you know on commentary, they were playing it up. They were hamming it up. They know, like we know, that way to the Grandmaster, he's chugging along now. And now they came to it seems they came to some sort of a they steal the lines, folks. Wato Mania is running wild in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And so we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Wato man. I want to be a Wato man.
There it is. Wato Mania running wild in New Japan Pro Wrestling. We'll see how that takes off. And we'll see if Wato actually gets the win versus Ishimori. But yeah, good three-star match. Decent. It did what it needed to do for the matches at night 2. And yeah, that's what that is.
Continue the Wato Mania, sir. Continue Wato Mania, please. But yes, we move on to another multi-man matchup on this card.
The ridiculousness of this.
Another what is that? 4 straight 8-man tags. 4 straight 8-man tags, as it was the LIJ Los Ingobernables de Japon's Shingo Takagi, the KOPW 2023 champion, Sanada, Bushi, and the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Hiromu Takahashi versus the Chaos Hontai combination of Yo, Rasuke Taguchi, Toriano, and Kazuka Okada. I will say I do enjoy Taguchi pulling out the fucking Gato type headband. That popped me for no other reason, but I am simple to pop. This one opens up with Yo and Hiromu Takahashi going at it, previewing their title match the following night. Hiromu was tripped up, but he was able to take Yo into a corner for a clothesline, only to get caught with a net breaker. You then had Toriano and Sanada coming in, but Sanada, he would get a spotlight on night 2, but he would just get a little bit of flashes against Yano in this one. Then you had Shingo going at it with Okada for a bit in this one. In the end, though, it was Shingo Takagi who pulled out the victory, hitting the last of the dragon on Taguchi to get some momentum as he heads into Osaka. All of these guys are really good workers. Of course, the LIJ multi-man matches always deliver. So this was a step up from the other multi-man matches. In my opinion, I gave this one 3.25 stars. What did you think?
4 in a row, bro. 4 in a row. You know, as a lover of New Japan Pro Wrestling and as a longtime fan, I know I come to expect this. This is obvious. They have a format. They follow the freaking plan. But damn, man, didn't we learn from the pandemic? Didn't we learn from the pandemic?
Nope.
Anyways, I will leave this alone. At the end of the day, yet another multi-man match that did what it was supposed to do. And we moved on and we moved forward from there. The preview matches here, obviously, Yo versus Hiromu, right? We had that as a preview. And then also we had, what else did we have here? Shingo and
Okada
at the end of the day. And then, that was what we were playing up to. And that did the work. Shingo hitting Last of the Dragon is always cool to watch. So that went down, and Toru Yano doing his usual Toru Yano stuff, spraying people in the face and trying to promote
with the corner pad. Always,
yeah, always promoting 7 different types of freaking products in the ring.
I won't front. I do enjoy the long intro for Yano.
Oh, for sure. There's always that's needed, right? Because that's his gimmick. If the gimmick isn't put on the screen, it just doesn't work. So that went the way that it went. I felt like yet again Bushi was a placeholder in this match for whatever reason. Sonata, to what you were saying before, he was more spotlighted in night 2, even though it was another tag match or whatever. It seems that they're trying to build him towards the New Japan Cup again. So we'll see how that works out. So yeah, man.
We should also note that after the match, Yo attacked the leg of Hiromu Takahashi, putting him in a knee bar on the floor, which would become a key factor in their main event matchup the following night.
Yeah. At the end of it was weird for me to see Yo attack Hiromu like that, but they went at each other, man. So it was a very intense lockup after the bell went off, and I didn't necessarily expect it, but it did lead into their one-on-one matchup in night 2, which was one hell of a match from what I am continuously watching right now. Anyways,
yeah, if you're not sure what J News is looking up at, he's finishing up night 2 as we recap night 1 here. That's why I am leading the way here for you folks here. Frantic World in the live chat saying NJPW is like you about to get 5 8-man tag matches in one night. 4. We got 4 of them in this one night. This is ridiculous.
It was ridiculous, man. It was like you have all these different singles titles, right? And you could just do things with them, or these like they like to have the special interest singles matches and stuff like that or whatever. I get it. They're not a promo heavy company, which is fine. You don't have to cut vignettes, you don't have to cut promos in the ring or whatever the case is. But you fill the time in with decent enough wrestling matches, or just. Yeah, man, put the multi-man tag match. Just, oh my God. They weigh so heavy.
Way too many on this show, especially 8-man tag. 4 8-man tags in a row. That's a little much. That's just a little much. But we finally, as Harlem in the background is not pleased, but we are pleased that we're getting to some actual matches that matter on this card, as the first one was up, our first title match on night 1 for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. It was Catch 2-2 of TJP and Francisco Akira versus Doki and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Just 2 guys of the just 4 guys.
4 guys, yeah.
Love it. I love it. I am calling them just 2 guys. That is their official tag team name. Doki and Kanemaru, of course, got the win over the champions in the Super Junior Tag League last year. And this matchup here, I think that this overachieved tremendously. The focus of the matchup was the knee injury of TJP, and Kanemaru ridiculously going after that knee at all costs. The heel master trying to make TJP tap out, and TJP sold this knee masterfully throughout this matchup. Of course, Catch 2-2 would hit all their big moves like the 3K, as well as they tried to go for the avalanche ace cutter off the top rope, but TJP's knee would give out from under him. So Akira would have to step up and take the lead for the team in the end. But man, the Sapporo crowd was so on favor for Doki for just 2 guys, weren't they, J News?
Yeah, man. I feel like what was going on in that match, especially with the crowd, was definitely very, very welcomed to a person who has had to deal with New Japan Pro Wrestling for the last several years since the pandemic, and these quiet crowds, these clapping crowds, these stomping crowds. For the crowd to react the way that it did during this match was a it was good to hear, man. It was definitely good to hear. It was definitely something that was welcomed. I'll say this, man, about this match. It had been the first time in several matches where TJP was the one to be worked over as the member of Catch 22, because it's usually Akira who gets worked over in most matches. So to see TJP get worked over, see the knee get worked over, the heel master, as you said, lovingly, as Uncle Nobu here on True Heel Heat. The heel master is still at the top of his game. 27 years into the business, the heel master is that still at the top of his game, doing the damn thing.
Still doing
Doki,
his thing.
yeah,
Before you continue, we want to let the people know how the match ended. Akira hitting the fireball to Doki after Doki got several close near falls and even almost made Akira tap out with the Doki Choki, but it was Catch 22 who retained here. I absolutely enjoyed this matchup so much. I gave it 4 stars. This was another example of why Catch 22 is probably the best junior heavyweight tag team champions in New Japan since the Young Bucks. They are that good, and they're making this junior heavyweight tag team division must watch once again. What did you think about the match, and what was your star rating?
Oh no, man! I definitely agree with you there. I think that at first I didn't know what to expect out of Catch 22, but as time has been going on and as they've been building that chemistry and basically putting everything together match to match, it just seems like these guys they're a very well-oiled machine, a very tight-knit unit. Just as a faction is the United Empire, but these two guys specifically, TJP being the 20-year veteran that he is, Francesco Akira just only being in the business for like 3 or 4 years. It's like, yo, these guys really know what it is to do in order to make these matches look as good as they do. And I pick up the pace or slow it down. They sell their asses off, which is always something that's very, very welcomed in any match, especially with the newer generation of wrestler and how people complain about them and stuff like that or whatever. So that's always cool to see. So the outcome was what I thought it was going to be. Obviously, Uncle Nobu and Doki weren't going to win the tag team championships in this match, but it was a surprise to me how well the match went off. Just because you usually don't get too much out of Kanemaru and then Doki, and them being a newer form team, but this was definitely something that played well. So yeah, 4 stars. I agree with for sure. That was the first thing I thought of when I first seen the match. I was like, oh, this is a 4-star match, and so I was like, yeah, that's definitely something there that people should
the finish, the final like 5 minutes. This was just a fantastic. This was like almost a 5-star finish because they had that crowd rocking. It was just a breath. Like they had you on the edge of your seat for that finish. Like I told you before we started filming this, that I woke up and watched this live, and this was the first match that I caught live, and it woke me up. It got me going into the whole show because that finish was just so breathtaking. Doki, man, I'm sorry, Doki. I underestimated you for a long time, but you, man, he has such a unique moveset. Like he did the gory bomb into like a neck breaker at one point. He does the springboard into the DDT. Of course, the Doki choking, the Doki choke. I love all of that. I love it all, man. They just 2 guys make a great junior heavyweight tag team that honestly I wouldn't mind if they eventually do become junior heavyweight tag team champions.
Hey man, we might see it. Who knows? But we'll see how it breaks down, man. We'll definitely see how it breaks down.
We got Dolores said, I like this match a lot. We also got RPG Jesus 316 who says the poor juniors are just pin fonder in the multi tag matches all year round till they want you to care for Best of Super Juniors, but they never get their own non-title stories. But we do have one with Wado and Ishimori going on. So See, they're listening. They're listening. RP Jesus. They're giving you a little tidbits, but yeah, it does. It is very clear of who the juniors that they do care about and who are the juniors they don't care about. They make that very clear throughout the year.
Yeah, that's definitely true. There is a clear line of delineation between the guys at the top and everybody else.
So next we had the match that I probably was looking forward to the most on this card. You had Will Ospreay versus Taichi in Taichi's hometown of Sapporo. So this crowd was definitely in favor of Taichi going in. These two men have had 3 prior singles bouts, with Taichi holding a 2-1 edge over Ospreay. So I thought that was very interesting that Taichi had the edge in their head-to-head encounters, but man, oh man, this one came out the box real quick. They start booting each other right at the beginning of the matchup. Then Taichi goes for an enziguri. Then Ospreay goes for the hidden blade. They both miss their big shots. We get a hot shot and a big boot from Ospreay, and then he controls things. He tries to ground Taichi, but Taichi just keeps firing back with hard strikes, forearms, and kicks. We get Ospreay attempt at a German suplex, is countered into a overhead kick to the shoulder. We get the axe bomber at one point from Taichi to the back of Ospreay's head. This one, man, when they started escalating stuff, when Ospreay goes for the Os cutter and then Taichi reverses it into the backdrop driver, this is what I said. I was like, okay, things are picking up now. Then we get Taichi with this fucking move, the Kawada style freaking driver at one point. They start trading off Kawada kicks with Ospreay like daring Taichi to use his senpai's move against him, and Ospreay's coming back with his own Kawada kicks. Ospreay at one point does like a Styles class driver, which I was like, oh my god, you're about to break each other's necks.
It was a Masawa bomb. It was one of those things where the callback to a couple of the moves, and I was like, Will Ospreay in a King's Road style match? What are we doing?
This was 100% King's Road in the best sense possible.
Yeah,
just
for
the
sure,
risk they were taking, the drops on the head, the hard strikes, everything was money in this matchup. And this was Taichi's probably best match that I ever seen from him. He got some really close near falls towards the finish here. He gets the Gato clutch for a very close near fall with Ospreay barely getting his shoulder up. They start trading strikes. At one point, Ospreay hits a leaping hidden blade and only gets a near fall. Then he loads up. He looks like he's about to hit another hidden blade, but Taichi gets up and Ospreay's like, no, I want to trade strikes again. They start trading strikes. Ospreay's hitting him with forearm after forearm. Taichi hits one big forearm with stutter steps Ospreay, but then Ospreay comes back with a big old forearm of his own, which knocks out Taichi at one point with the referee counting him out. We look like it's going to be a knockout finish, but Taichi stops the referee from counting him out, pushes him out the way, and then Ospreay hits another hidden blade right to the head, and then he finishes off Taichi with the Stormbreaker for the 1-2-3. This match going nearly 23 minutes. This was an excellent bout. Taichi's best match that I've ever seen from him. I gave this one 4.5 stars. This is the Will Ospreay that needs to get back on track, and this was the best way possible. And I love the overarching story of Will Ospreay trying to take the biggest challenges possible, and him basically thanking Taichi after the match for bringing the fight to him and bringing the best Taichi possible in Sapporo, in his hometown, in enemy territory. Ospreay still getting the win here. This was a hell of a match, and spoiler alert, this was my match of the night.
Yeah, without question, man. It is something to behold. I feel like we're watching, and the comparison of wrestler is different, right? But I'm talking more storyline standpoint. How I hate to bring him up because he hasn't been seen in a long period of time, but I got to bring him up anyways. Kota Ibushi. I believe in 2019, Kota Ibushi went on this run where he was having the same thing, having these big these big matches, different styles, catering to these styles of matches, and just beating the crap out of his body. And on top of everything else, just being able to adapt to the style and have banger match after banger match after banger match. And I think Will is on this same train here in 2023. Let's hope it continues. Let's see as to what other kinds of styles of matches will get himself into for the rest of the year. But I'm here for it, man. Will Ospreay gonna have a hell of a 2023, taking nothing away from Taichi in this match. Taichi brought the fire, he brought the spirit, he brought the strong style, son. That's what it is, man.
He took Ospreay to the King's Road. He was like, you want to have a Kawada, a Masawa type of matchup? This was it. This was probably the best match I've seen from Taichi since his Kota Ibushi G1 match where they kicked each other for like 15 minutes.
Exactly.
That was the two best Taichi matches that I've ever seen. But Will Ospreay is on a hell of a run right now. We got Dolores in the live chat who says Ospreay is on fire. I like how he is getting more and more intense. Yeah, he's trying to get himself ready because he knows there are two guys he hasn't been able to beat on his own, Omega and Okada. And I think he's trying that next year's Wrestle Kingdom. He's going to be versing one of them for the top prize, in my opinion. Aaron Ziegler saying this was a fun match. We also got Frantic World who says Will Ospreay is having the best matches so far in 2023. I mean, he's got the match of the year so far, and this one, like I said, 4.5 stars. What did you rate the match?
Yeah, man. I thought this was definitely a 4.5 star a quality match here. The reason as to why it matches up with what with your scores is because think about it this way. If we had a 6-star match just a month ago, right? And not, like I said, not taking anything away from Taichi, but this is a different style match at the end of the day, right? Like we said, he took him to King's Road. We had the face downs. We had the bombs being thrown in this match. Like, yo, when Taichi hit the axe bomber to the back of Will's head, I was like, oh, this shit is over, son. I was like, this shit is over. Will's still kicking out. Man, this is my favorite and the best match of the night. We do have to talk about the main event as P3.
And
you take it away.
Unfortunately, this main event had the inevitable task of following that match and following that junior heavyweight tag team matchup. But the main event was Tetsuya Naito going one-on-one with the Shooter, Shota Umino. Shooter coming out through the entranceway with his white jacket. I love the parallels between the two men coming out both in white at the beginning of the start here. And, you know, the story going in was Shooter, basically his hero, the person that inspired him to become a professional wrestler was Tetsuya Naito. But guys, I don't know what happened here. There was just a pacing wise, it just dragged. This was a match that really dragged. Like in the early portion, it looked like we were gonna get, a 20-minute matchup because of the way they started. But we had some risks, like Umino with the dive to the outside. He kept going for STF throughout this matchup, trying to go after Naito's neck. Naito, of course, working over the neck of Umino, trying to set up for the Destino. Both guys finishers focus on the neck and the head, so it made sense that they were doing that, but there was just too much of that, of like just rest holds pretty much. And then there was a little bit of mistiming in certain moves. Umino reverse catches the Destino attempt and then hits a kind of like the bastard driver here, knows his father driver, I guess you can call it, or a gin and tonic for a near fall. Then Umino hits a Death Rider, snapped it off, hits the Death Rider. He tries for the elevated one, but Naito like crumbles underneath him before Umino on a second attempt. He gets the Death Rider again, and then he gets a near fall. He tries for the Death Rider a third time, but Naito's able to escape, and then he hits a short Destino for a 2 count. He then gets him up. He hits the regular wind up and the Kevin Kelly call of Destino for the 1, 2, 3. This match, though, Jesus fucking Christ, it went 32 minutes and 11 seconds. It just was too long, folks. Just way too long. I gave it 3 stars, and I think I'm being generous. So, what did you think?
Let me start off by saying that, as fans of the product, sometimes we tend to view things through rose-colored glasses. We'll have certain biases, and we'll always want to cheer on our favorite guys. In this match, I've got to be honest. The first thing I saw when the bell rung was a visually nervous Shota Umino. And I'm not too sure if the spotlight was too bright. I'm not too sure if he felt like he wasn't ready. I'm just not too sure at the end of the day. I've seen him
ready. He wasn't ready.
I'm just not too sure as to what happened here because we've seen Shooter come back between the second half of 2022 and put on some banger matches against other guys. Ospreay, obviously, and be involved in other things. And I've never seen him be visually nervous before. And it was something that it got me because I was like, dude, this is the spot. This is where you wanted to be. This is what you've been working towards. Obviously, yes, Naito is the guy. He's your guy, right? This is the legend. He's gonna be your senpai here, like Muda was to Naito. And it didn't work out, man. It did not work out, and it's sad because we can get better. He's gonna grow from this. Obviously, this is just a blip on the radar, a bump in the road. But to see it on it's a big stage because it's the main event, right? And at the end of the day, to have the botches in the match, that's one thing, right? But then it's like the drag of the rest holds, and like there were points
Just
where I was
didn't
like,
need to be 32 minutes.
it didn't need to be that long. It definitely did not need to be that long. And on top of everything else, like the lack of chemistry at times during the match was a bit off-putting. And I was like, why doesn't it feel like these guys know where they want to go with this? Right? That's what it felt like. And I was like, that was the first time I've ever seen a New Japan match where I was like, all right, this ain't it. This ain't it. And these guys are these are my favorites. Y'all know, man, the top shots are, that's my main man. You know what I'm saying? It was like Naito's a favorite. And it's like, to see this happen, I was like, all right, this ain't it, guys. Got to go back to the drawing board. I'm not too sure what happened, how this was discussed, how this was outlined in the back, but the execution just did not happen. And that sucks to say, and like SP3 says, he gave it 3 stars, and that's being generous. Bruh, I'm not giving this a star rating because I don't think it'll be fair at this point, just because of where I know that these two guys can be. I'm gonna give them the mulligan for this one.
Mulligan.
I'm gonna give them the mulligan for this one.
Sheesh. That's even worse than giving a bad star.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them the mulligan on this one, just to see us to, CM for sure.
It did feel like that. CM, mm-hmm. It was like a raw hour 3 matchup. That drags.
Yeah, and you hate to see it, right? You hate to see it because it's like you expect a certain level of pro wrestling when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling, especially if you've seen matches with Naito and Shooter and stuff like that or whatever. And just to get what we got here, I was like, they're gonna need to run this back. I don't know how or how they get to it, right? But they're gonna need to run this back, and this has got to be on maybe a G1 match.
I think the biggest mistake was Taichi and Ospreay should have main evented. This is Taichi's hometown.
Sure.
Ospreay always delivers. That should have been the main event. This should have been the semi-main event. and it should have
Yeah.
got 10 less minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
No,
wouldn't
I
have
agree,
mind.
man.
I wouldn't have mind Ospreay and Taichi getting 5 extra minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you, man. I agree.
We got Frantic World who says he is not ready for the main event. Seems like it. Seems like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure if the main event spotlight was what got him per se. It might. Honestly, I think it might have been the Naito thing. Because some, at the end of the, that's like I said, that's his guy. And he's such a young dude. He's probably still a fan. So it's like it probably got the moment got to him and stuff like that. And it's oh man,
It's tough. Dolores saying they kept saying Red Shoes was being impartial to his son.
Yeah,
It never happened. Yeah, they didn't really tell that story like they did in the Ospreay match back at
Right.
Historic Crossover. Then you got Dolores saying this match lacked real intensity. It had the story to make a great match. Yeah, I wanted to like it. And you can even go on the True Hill Heat Twitter page, and I said really good match because I felt like the final sequence was what I expected it to be, but it was what I told Jay News before we went live here. That was one of those tweets I wish I could take back. I wish I could delete it and no one saw it because it wasn't a really good match. It was at best pretty good to decent, but not really good. Definitely not really good. We got Aaron Ziegler saying, I agree 100% with you guys. Frantic World saying, wow, Jay News not giving the match no love.
I can't, man. I can't. I mean, so here's a basic line of reference, right? During the pandemic, we saw the Young Lions turn it up to a level we had never seen before. If the Young Lions can give us 4-star matches, this right here, son, nah.
You can't have this type of match after the previous 2 matches as well. I think that was another thing that you couldn't follow that. RP Jesus saying cut 10 minutes off the match and they could have made Shota look amazing in a loss. Yeah, you're definitely right. You're 100% right. Ninja Mortis saying it's rare. Naito miss. Also, Shota needs to wear the jacket or leave it at home. This 2-jacket shooter. I like the 2-jacket. It's a tribute to his real daddy. It's a tribute to Daddy Moxley. But let's move on to night 2. We'll run through the matches that didn't really matter, the multi-man matches, a little bit faster than we did with night 1. First, so night 2 in Sapporo, they had 3,316. So more people on night 2 in comparison to night 1. So interesting.
That's plus.
Interesting. That's a plus. That's definitely a plus. And they started off with one of the top teams, one of the top factions in New Japan Pro Wrestling, coming off their big wins from the night prior. United Empire kicked things off as we had the Great Okan, Will Ospreay, TJP, and Francisco Akira going up against. They actually did it. They're actually together. Just 4 guys. Doki, Takamishinoku, Taichi and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. This one, you had a little sequence with Taichi and Ospreay in this one going at it after their great match the night prior. But in the end, it was Ospreay. After some really good back and forth between the 2 factions, it was Ospreay ending things off with the hidden blade on Takamishinoku to gain the victory for United Empire here. After the match, the Great Okan got on the mic and he said, United Empire, and he got to hear the crowd cheer back at him. J News will return, but I gave this match 3 stars. I thought just 4 guys and United Empire had developed good chemistry with one another. What did you think about this one, J News?
Yeah, it was what it was. Look, man, you guys know how I feel about these damn multi-man matches. It is what it is. It was just a rehash of what happened from the night before with everybody who was involved in their matches from the night before. So that we weren't going to get anything new out of this particular multi-man match. So it went the way that it went. TJP actually looked stronger in this match than he did in the previous match. So that's a plus. TJP no longer having the, too much of a severe knee issue here. And yeah, just 4 guys.
just for guys.
guys.
I'm all here for just for guys.
I'm all here for the
need
just for guys.
If anybody wants to buy me a t-shirt, my birthday's in May. Get me the Just for Guys t-shirt. Ninja Mortis says makes me think he's not ready for the Jericho match, talking about Shoto and Minu, but maybe Jericho can lead him through the dark. I mean, maybe, but I don't know after that showing on night one.
A part of me will say this. I feel like, and yet again, no shade here, I just feel like Shooter will have a better match against Jericho just because Jericho's not on the level of Naito to Shooter in that particular regard. So I think that Shooter should be fine in that particular regard. So yeah, we'll see.
You're expecting two different type of matches there. If you're having a match with Naito, then having a match with Jericho, where you can do more sports entertainment type of stuff. Dolores saying this match was okay. I expected more because the night before. I don't know. I don't think you should have expected more because this is the opening match. It was only going to get 10 minutes at best, but the sequences, the back and forth was pretty good. But that led to the next matchup on the card. Another multi-man matchup. This one is an 8-man tag with not Suzuki Goons, Minoru Suzuki, El Phantasmo, and Ren Narita, and Yodo Nakashima actually getting the win over House of Torture, Dix Togo, Evil, and Yujiro Takahashi and Sho. The key moment to this was actually Ren Narita and Suzuki not only working with each other, but Ren Narita actually putting his hand out for the hot tag, and the crowd pop for this was amazing. This tells you that the fans are actually invested into the story being told with Narita and Suzuki. Narita getting the win once again with the Cobra twist, this time on 1/3 of the never open weight 6-man tag team champions, and this punched the ticket for Osaka for not Suzuki Gun to get their title matchup. And then after the match, Narita and Suzuki shook hands and embraced. Suzuki grabbed the mic and once again challenged the House of Torture for the never 6-man tag team titles. Evil denied the challenge, saying that the 6-man tag titles were retired, but Suzuki declared they were challenging for the belts in Osaka next week. And what Suzuki says goes, and now the match is official. I gave this match 2.5 stars. What did you think?
So we're talking about another multi-man match again. See, this is what the problem is with New Japan Pro Wrestling, man. This is what the problem is. Why I felt like the never openweight 6-man tag team title match needed to happen in Sapporo. Like to drag it out to Osaka, because now you're going into, if you're going into Osaka, you already had how many now? It's been 3 different multi-man tag team matches through the New Beginning tour with these guys. Like, come on, man, it's enough already. Enough already. Jesus freaking
not
Christ.
Not enough multi-man matches, you know.
Listen, man, at the end of the day, not Suzuki Gun, Ren Narita, Despi, and Minoru Suzuki will face off against those members of the House of Torture. And then we will see who will be the never openweight 6-man tag team champions. I feel like not Suzuki should get the win here so that these titles can actually be defended in a credible way, because give anything to the House of Torture and they will bury it. They are there for death in wrestling's corridor. You give something to the House of Torture, they will bury it in a way where you just don't want to watch it. Everything they do has go away heat. Nothing is entertaining. It is just too damn much of the House of Torture, their chicanery, their tomfoolery. It's over. Break this team up. Do something else with them. I don't want to see him anymore. God damn.
He said his piece. He said it with his chest, y'all. He didn't even see him say, damn. Next up, we had a tag team match, not a multi-man match, a tag team match. As it was Taiji Ishimori and Kenta of the Bullet Club versus Hiroshi Tanahashi and Master Wato. A preview of the 2 special singles matches in Osaka coming up this Saturday. Wato working well with Kenta as well as Ishimori. We got a preview of Kenta going at it with Hiroshi Tanahashi as well. In the end, though, it was Taiji Ishimori getting a little bit of vengeance on Wato for getting the win over him in Sapporo the night prior, but he had to do it with a little bit of chicanery. They exposed the turnbuckle as the Bullet Club does, and Taiji Ishimori ran the master into the turnbuckle head first, right in front of the referee. But you know, referees in New Japan, they ain't gonna say nothing. And then he got to roll up with his feet on the ropes for the 1, 2, 3. I thought this match was pretty good. It was, it was pretty good. It went just under 11 minutes here. I gave it 2 3/4 stars. You got a tag team match, not a multi-man match, J News.
Sakamoto needs some work, man. At the end of the day, this went the way that I thought it was gonna go. This was as expected. For me, I felt like being that Watto got the pin on Ishimori the night before, I said to myself, okay, they're not gonna have Ishimori take all the pins and then him win, right? We got to have some sort of balance in the universe, in the New Japan universe here. So obviously, Ishimori with some tomfoolery and chicanery got away with the pinfall on Master Watto. But there's an underlying thing that I've seen in the Watto multi-man matches with Ishimori. Every time he tries to go for Recitamente, he doesn't hit it. So I have a feeling if he ever hits Recitamente on Ishimori, he's going to get the pin. So if we see this in Osaka, if we see Recitamente get hit on Ishimori, we running all the way to the Grandmaster, folks. Watto Mania is going to be running wild all over New Japan Pro Wrestling.
To the Grandmaster, the Master Watto agenda is here, ladies and gentlemen. Put it in a hashtag. Hashtag Master Watto agenda. MWA. 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 Let's get to the fourth match on the card. This time a 6-man tag team bout, as it was the Bullet Club's Switchblade Jay White, Gato, and El Phantasmo versus the GOD 3-1 of Jado, Hikuleo, and Tama Tonga. This, of course, was a preview of Tama Tonga and ELP for the Never Openweight Championship, as well as Switchblade Jay White versus Hikuleo in their Loser Leaves Japan match coming up in Osaka this Saturday. Hikuleo played a big man very well here and just showed that Switchblade Jay White fears Hikuleo when it's a one-on-one situation, and definitely fears that chokeslam of Hikuleo, which it looked at times he was going to hit it on Jay White as well as Gato and El Phantasmo. But in the end, we got to the a little bigger of an issue, an overarching issue of Jado still wanting revenge on Gato, and he got the victory here with a crossface to make Gato tap out. So this was an interesting finish here. I didn't think they would go this direction. The crossface of Jado getting the victory for the GOD in just under 13 minutes. I gave this match 2.5 stars. This was fine for what it was, but I was very impressed with Hikuleo throughout this one, playing the big man very well here. After the match, ELP dropped Tama Tonga with his Never Openweight Championship and ran off through the crowd. What did you think, J News?
There's a comment here from Ninja Mortis where he says, I'm tired of Kenta having to cheat to win every match. I said this over a year ago. There is no need for Kenta to be out here. He doesn't need to be a part of the Bullet Club. He doesn't need to cheat to win. We're talking about a man who helped to revolutionize the sport of pro wrestling in his home country. And he's out here cheating for what?
Hey. That was the previous match. Let's talk about this match.
Anyways, let's talk about this match. So, yes, we still have the storyline here where we're talking about Jado still having this fury against Gato. I don't know if we'll ever see a one-on-one. Probably not. But to have that still be a storyline thing now is like, I'm not too sure how I feel about that per se. Hikuleo still doing his thing, putting fear into Jay White, size, choke slam, him running makes sense. I still have Jay White winning that match. At the end of the day,
I agree with Ninja Mortis, man. He said you see them post match remarks. Jay is leaving. The way he's talking, it just very much it sounds like promos of a heel that is going to be humbled, and he is going to be the one going to be forced to leave Japan.
Like
he's very heavy-handed on him, like he's saying, like, I don't even want to be in Japan, but I'm gonna force you out of Japan just to spite you. Like he's very much alluding to the fact he doesn't want to be here anymore.
At the end of the day, all I'm saying is, if this is the way it's gonna go, they both need to lose. That's it. That's all I'm saying. They both need to lose. That's it. That's it. They both need to lose.
Fair enough. Let's continue on here. The fifth match on the card was a multi-man match. You had the Los Ingobernables de Japón team of Sanada, Shingo Takagi, and Bushi and Tetsuya Naito going up against Ryusuke Taguchi, Shota Umino, Toriano, and the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Kazuchika Okada. Umino looked good here, interacting with Sanada, looking like I was right with our preview. I think that Umino and Sanada gonna be the next feud. We also got a preview of Okada and Shingo going at it. Okada hitting that beautiful drop kick. We got Naito and Umino going at it. Bushi had a nice little dive to the outside. In the end, though, it came down to Okada going at it with Sanada. Sanada getting a real showcase here against the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, nearly getting the win with the skull end at a few attempts at his finishing submission, but Okada hitting the discus Rainmaker clothesline and then the standard Rainmaker for the 1, 2, 3. This Chaos team getting the win in 11 minutes. Okada looking good ahead of his title match against Shingo Takagi, and then a standoff between the two champions after the matchup here. I thought this was a really fun multi-man matchup. I gave it 3.5 stars. What did you think, J News?
Man, you know, I didn't think about it until you just said it, right? In regards to Sanada and Shooter being the next feud, that's a tough one for me to have to partake in, analyze, break down. As we all know, Jay News is a Sanada fanboy since day one, right?
Shooting in the gym with Sanada always.
Ain't nobody out here backing Sanada like me. Ain't nobody out here doing that. But Shooter's my new guy, man. So it's like, can this pairing take these guys to, or at least take Shooter to another level, right? Because Sonata's not going to necessarily be built up, right? So how does this pairing take Shooter to another level? And it's tough because I feel like Sonata's not really a heel in Japan. People love Sanada in Japan. So I'm not too sure how this is going to work with the crowd per se from that particular dynamic, right? But as I was saying this to you off camera, the way Shooter came out in this match against Naito should have been the way they ran the match one-on-one the night before. And I understand he was trying to get the re-up here, but it fell, not that it fell flat, it was just like, this is what we needed. This is what we needed. And we got it in a multi-man match. No. You know? And obviously he got a stern talking to by somebody at the end of the day. So he came out firing on all cylinders. The nerves were gone, obviously. So we'll see as to what this comes up to be. I'm sure Naito has still a couple of years left in the tank, so we'll revisit this down the road yet again. Shingo Okada should be great. It should be great. We'll see what happens with the rest of it. Like I said, Bushi was here for the fodder, even though
and he didn't get pinned though.
He didn't get pinned. That's right. Sonata got pinned.
I was very surprised by that.
For real. Like I was like, what? Sonata got pinned? This is ridiculous. What are we doing? What are we doing? And then the thing was, they were trying to talk him up towards the New Japan Cup, and then Sonata takes the loss on the Rainmaker. I was like, This is backwards.
Seems legit. Seems legit to me.
This is backwards.
We got CM who says, y'all really think Switchblade wants to go to the E to get fired in 3 months? AEW with their mess. What mess? That mess was like last year. Stop talking about the past. They cleaned everything up. They had issues last year. We even found out they had Swerve and Ricky Starks, but he's got a bunch of friends. Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega all came out and said they wanted Jay White when AEW first started. Plus, in WWE, he's got Finn Balor, who's probably putting on the charm and being the recruitment manager because he's already got Dragon Lee to sign with WWE. So you're absolutely bugging. He's not going to get fired in 3 months under Triple H. That's not going to happen. And Vince McMahon, okay, maybe, but both options are better than New Japan at this point, in my opinion, because Switchblade has done everything in New Japan. There's nothing left for him to do.
So put me on game real quick. Swerve and Ricky had it out in the back.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of that. That's
Fightful reported that over the weekend.
Damn.
This was back in May, though. This was back.
Oh, like last year. Okay, so it wasn't anything recent.
No, nothing.
Okay. All right. No. That's where that's at. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We got Frantic World who says, I hope we see Jay White and Kota Ibushi in AEW. I will get Jay News' thoughts on Kota Ibushi, now a free agent, at the end of the podcast here. Don't worry, folks. I do remember that. And yes, Dolores knows. Dolores is a true Patreon backer. She says, Dolores, Jay News been shooting in the gym with Sonata from the beginning.
Man, listen, man. I still want to see the lights in the goddamn stadiums. I'm there for it. I'm there for it.
I love it. He could see I'm saying Jay White could rebuild New Japan US easily. He was there all of 2021 through 2022, and they had to end New Japan strong. So you're bugging saying easily. He didn't do it before. How's he gonna do it now?
So here's the thing, and I said this a while ago, and you agreed with me, SP. So I'm gonna bring this back up. The production value of Strong isn't there. The characters and the wrestlers are there. It's all about how you're projecting the product to the fans, and it just doesn't look. It doesn't even mirror New Japan proper at the end of the day. So it's one of those things where if the fans can't get into it from a visual standpoint, they're not going to buy it at the end of the day. So they need to change they need to do something different with the production values at Strong in order for them to get more eyes on the product. So that's really the take on it, because they have the talent. It's just more or less show me something different.
And that's why you got people like Carl Fredericks and other folks leaving, because it's just not there production wise. It's Ninja Mortis saying, I love Jay, but the pawn is too small. Ospreay is the man now. Jay will be killing it. The Fed AEW may be too packed right now. Check out our New Beginning in Osaka preview coming up on Friday, where I give you the two scenarios, the two storylines that immediately Jay White has in both WWE and AEW. So stay tuned. Maybe it'll change your mind. But yes, let's go to the real matches that mattered on this card. The final 3 matches. First, you had for the IWGP World Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, Yoshihashi and Goto, Hiroki Goto, Bishamon versus TMDK, Mikey Nichols, and Shane Haste. This match here, I thought that this told a very well-told story of both of these teams thriving on chaos. When things break down in a matchup and they're able to hit their double team moves, this is where these two teams thrive. Unlike with FTR, who can do the double teams, but they like it to be more structured, more old school. These two teams like it when it's all 4 men in the ring going wild and they can hit double team maneuvers. So we saw a lot of that throughout this contest of stuff breaking down. TMDK getting a close near fall with their double team power slam into the DDT, almost getting the win there. They almost got the win with the avalanche superplex power bomb combination, but in the end it was Bishamon hitting an elevated GTR followed by Shota for the win here to retain the IWGP World Tag Team Championships. I think Bishamon have grown into a very well-oiled machine. They might not be your best tag team in the world, like Kevin Kelly likes to push that agenda, but they are still a very solid team that has really good matches. The match with FTR at Wrestle Kingdom 17 was really good, and this one was as well. I gave it 3.5 stars. What did you think, J News?
So, folks, I want to say this so that you are aware of what my watching habits are like at home. Professional wrestling is a visual and auditory medium for me. I can't watch this shit in the background and get into a match. So SP3 wanted me, which he has the points, valid points. Yo, News, watch the 3 best matches of the night. So just you can have it in your head. I couldn't get into the matches. I know what the results are. I know what happened, the play-by-play. But like for me, it's a transformative experience. It's one of those experiential events. I have to get into a wrestling match. SP3 knows me. We've been to wrestling shows before. I get into this shit. So if I'm not into it, it's like I sometimes I'll miss the point, or there's storyline stuff that the interwoven storyline parts that happen via commentary or what's happening in the ring, the story being told in the ring, sometimes it won't connect with me if it's just in the freaking background. So it's like, oh yeah, it looked like a dope enough match. I just didn't. I don't.
Yeah, you can't rate it fairly without hearing everything involved. Yeah. I totally understand.
But I think to your point, right? In any match that we see with Bishamon, and especially TMDK, which is why I was a fan of TMDK before they got to the WWE. The tag team stuff, their moves together. I'm freaking forgetting the term right now. The double teams. That's what made them stand out to me for a long period of time. And I was like, oh, they have some dope tag team stuff and paired moves. Bishamon, on the other hand, it's like, well, this is a mishmash put together tag team of 2 singles wrestlers. They've become a great tag team in the last 2 years. So to me, it's like this was a match that I was looking forward to. I'll rewatch it just to see as to how it really ran, how it went off. But being able to just visually see them do their tandem stuff or whatever, and I was like, oh, okay, so this match looks like it was a real deal bar burner. I need to go back and watch this. So I'll give them that. So I can't give it a fair score, but just from a visual aspect, it looks like they did the damn thing.
Absolutely. I would even go as far, maybe it's a 3 3/4, but for now I'll give 3.5 stars. I'll post my star ratings from this weekend up on the Twitter page, so maybe I'll change my mind. But this match, I know what star rating I'm giving it, because this match was one of my favorites of the entire 2-night event. It was for the NJPW World Television Championship. Zack Sabre Jr. making his first defense against Tomohiro Ishii. The match opened up with some prolonged grappling exchange. Ishii held his own, honestly, but ZSJ's prowess eventually won him the advantage. Of course, Ishii came back with some well-timed strikes and some general strength, but Ishii also tried to wrestle. He went after the arm a few times. Then he gets on the Cobra Twist at one point. ZSJ tried to challenge the strikes, almost busting the lip of Ishii at one point. He almost got the win. And then as the time calls started going out, the match hit different levels. After the 5-minute call, the match intensified a little bit more. Both men trying to prove they're on equal ground. Then there was like the sense of urgency as we got closer and closer to the 10-minute call. Ishii landed a power bomb at one point, but Zack Sabre Jr. transitioned that into an armbar. We get Ishii with a damn Ishii tonic. Oh my god, I was like, no, Ishii, just hit the fucking code red. Are you fucking kidding me? We got ZSJ with the European clutch for a very close near fall. As we went down to the final 3 minutes, man, this shit had me on the edge of my seat. Both men trading suplexes. Yeah, Ishii landing some huge strikes, some huge lariats, but not being able to get the win. Zack Sabre Jr. hitting a tiger suplex for a near near fall. Then he hit the penalty kick. Ishii comes back with an enziguri and the sliding lariat for a near fall. Hits a big headbutt. But then as it got down to the final 30 seconds, ZSJ just said, he talked to George Michael and he was like, no more techers, pull out the Zack Driver. And Zack Driver 1, 2, 3. This match, 15-minute time limit. Man, this might be my favorite division in New Japan because this match went down to 14 minutes, 38 seconds, and this was phenomenal. For fantastic match between these two men. I gave it 4.5 stars. I absolutely love this fucking match, J News.
So, folks, as you hear the enthusiasm in SP3 and how he loved this match, I feel you should all love this match just as vehemently. I don't have the same love for this match, obviously, for reasons that I stated before. But when I did see Ishii hit the code red, I said to myself, what the fuck's happening?
Ishii tonic. Ishii tonic. Oh my god. I was like, yo, are you kidding me?
I was like, wait.
He just hit a code red?
What happened? And I was like, oh man, I would have never thought that, never in a million years, Ishii go for a move like that. And for it to go off as well and as safely as it did, thumbs up, the man's a freaking pro. Zaki doing what Zaki does at the end of the day. When you know he has to leave the techers alone in order to win a match.
But this was the thing, because on our preview, we talked about how Zaki loves the techers, but then when he's versing someone that strikes, he tries to challenge them to the strikes. We got the opposite of Ishii doing the techers. Ishii was going after the arm. Ishii was going for submission. Ishii was hitting different moves. Like, yo, this subverted my expectations. And like Dolores said, yes, I appreciate how this match had levels. It had levels to it. And Frantic World says, I just watched this match. It was really good. We got Ninja Border says Ishii was in heaven. Yes, yes, he was. This is Ishii's bag. Give me 15 minutes to go out and have all action, no fluff. Fantastic.
It was something, you know, I gotta give it up to Ishii this long in the game. For those of you who don't know, he was a late starter in the business. So it's not like Ishii's been in the business for like 25, 30 years. He got to start late, and he's been on the rise on the later half of his career. He ain't got much left in the tank. He's said this publicly. So I'm not projecting here. But for him to still put on matches like this, incredible. And ZSJ, man, people need to put some respect on his name, dog. At the end of the day, Zack Sabre Jr. is one of the best that we have in this business, and he proves it every time he's in a New Japan ring, or any ring for that matter. I'm still waiting on that match between him and Daniel Bryan. Make it happen,
It needs
AEW.
to happen. Forbidden Door 2 for sure. Dolores says ZSJ talking after was funny. Yes, him talking to Kevin Kelly and saying that he's gonna have a new techno theme. He's got a new techno theme coming out. He's gonna love it. But that brought us, J News, to the final match on the card for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Hiromu Takahashi making the first defense of his 5th reign against the former Roppongi 3K member, Chaos member. Yo, this match started off slow. We got the standard collar and elbow tie-up, but then Yo started told Hiromu, let's get to the floor. Let's get on the floor and let's fight. You had Hiromu hitting a big suplex on the outside on the floor. He then started slowing things down in the ring, but Yo fought back, hit a couple of chops, brought it back to the outside, hit a great tope con hilo to the outside, and Yo just more and more as this match went along, he started showing more and more aggression, more and more fighting spirit, going after the injured knee of Hiromu that he worked on the night prior. Figure 4 deathlock makes Hiromu have to fight to the ropes. Hiromu eventually bounces back. He hits a German suplex and a lariat, but it stopped. He continuously stopped the rallies and the comeback of Hiromu throughout this matchup. Big clothesline. He then started hitting different moves from Chaos members. He hit the drop kick of Okada, hit the drop the needle of Goto at one point for a near fall. He kept looking for for direct drive, but Hiromu would reverse out of it. He reversed out of one attempt and hit the time bomb, but Yo was able to kick out. Yo then dropped him across the knee again. He still couldn't hit direct drive, but Hiromu comes back with a stunner. He then hits a tiger driver, this weird double underhook tiger driver at one point for a near fall. Yo got an excellent near fall with the 5-star pin, where I was like, it was very close how Hiromu got his shoulder up for this one. Finally, Hiromu starts hitting a pair of pumping bomber lariats, shades of his stablemate Shingo Takagi, and then he finally finishes off Yo with time bomb 2 for the 1, 2, 3. Another excellent matchup here, and Yo showed out. This was probably Yo's best singles match, or my favorite Yo singles match that I've seen. I gave this match 4.5 stars. These two guys went out there and had a junior heavyweight championship match they can both be proud of in the main event, a top spot, and they delivered. We got in the live chat with us Ninja Mortis saying TV division is like a high-speed division or peer division. Loved the tourney to set it up, and it may be an ugly belt, but it's better than the strong open weight title already. No offense to Tom or Fred. We also got Ninja Mortis who says, "Yo, I don't know what Leo Rush said to this man, but Yo went Super Saiyan." Yes, he did. He definitely went Super Saiyan in this matchup. J News.
So to piggyback off of Ninja Mortis's first comment that you read in relation to the TV title division, that's where the shooter should be right now. I just wanted to make that comment. That's where he should be right now. That's outside of that, this match, being that I saw the length of it when I was watching back and forth and everything, and I said to myself, this looks and feels like an epic without sound. So I need to go back and watch this. Yeah, man, I think that to Ninja Mortis's point, whatever Leo Rush said to Yo, son, like Yo turned it up, not even just one level. He turned it up to some crazy. And I think, I'm not sure, I'm not going to speak for the company, but I feel like we've been waiting for this for quite some time as fans, as a matter of fact. So it was good to see from Yo the fire, the intensity, the striking ability's always been there, but it was always like, I always felt like it was soft contact. And in this match, I was like, whoa, it felt like, obviously not to that particular degree, some Dragon Lee versus Hiromu Takahashi type deal going on here, and
especially the chops and the hard strikes. Yeah. I did feel that, yeah.
So I was saying to myself, okay, Yo's really bringing the fire, man. What's going on here? And to Ninja Mortis's other point, this is Yo's best match since his split from Show easily. Yeah, yeah. The main reason, and I don't think I've ever said this out loud necessarily, but I'll say this just for a record standpoint. The main reason as to why I hate the House of Torture so much is because they're freaking handcuffing Show. It handcuffs Show. It just does. So is that Romeo? Is that Romeo? That is Romeo. So Romeo just asked if I am going to be a part of the Battle in the Valley watch along. What day is the Battle of the Valley? SP3? I'm not too sure.
That's February 18th.
February 18th. The 18th is a Saturday. It's gonna be a rough one. Might not be able to make that. So sorry about that.
Well, he'll be on the review the following Monday.
I'll be on the review for the following Monday.
That's what matters, folks. You get to hear his thoughts. We got Ninja Mortis who says, I mean, last summer, Yo was like, I'm sorry, I'm boring. I hope I can make it up to you. And now he's like, fuck the world. Let's fight. Yeah, just how he fired up when Hiromu early on started hitting the chops and started like blistering his chest. And he just kept firing up. I loved it. It didn't feel hollow like it did a lot of times when he first went on his own and he would try to do that fire up. It felt like he was actually had the passion and he was fighting harder afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, he showed the fighting spirit, at the end of the day. And I think that's really what a lot of fans have been looking forward to with Yo at the end of the day. RP Jesus said Show and Evil are better than the HOT booking. Show is. I don't know about Evil. Evil could stay where he's at.
I like Evil. I like Evil. He's better than yes. I like Evil. I do. I think that he is better than the booking. He is better than.
Is he?
Yes, he
Is
is.
he?
I've seen him. I've seen him before. Like seeing Sonata not have a direction, it made like during the matchup, the multi-man matchup earlier in the show. I was like, I really missed the Evil and Sonata tag team. I was like, that was a good role for both of them. Sometimes that's the best role for these guys, like the Hiroki Gotos and Yoshihashi. They found themselves a role with Bishamon, and I feel like they had a role for Evil and Sonata, and now they're lost because they're separated.
I feel like you're not wrong in the sense that they don't have roles ever since their separation, right? The only thing is that they tried to push Evil on us, right, during the pandemic as a main eventer, as a heavyweight, right, and that didn't pan out necessarily, right? And as you know, this is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to stick to it. They didn't give Sonata enough long of a run. They didn't stick with my main man. They didn't do what they needed to do with Sonata in order to take him to another level. That's all I'm got to say about that, man. Bad booking for the main man Sonata. But anyways, at the end of the day, I'll say that if we ever get down to it and they do break up the House of Torture, which I think should happen, honestly, it really should. So,
I mean, we're almost nearly at that point.
Hopefully, but putting them back together wouldn't be such a bad thing. I don't think for storyline purposes, and then having some sort of a trajectory for them, right? Because they're really in no man's land right now, and that's a bad place to be. That is a bad place to be in any in any industry, in any situation. Being in no man's land is no place to be. So
I definitely agree with you there. To answer Dolores here, she says, this was my first live New Japan Pro Wrestling pay-per-view. Is it best to watch on NJPW website or Fight? I know it's only a couple of dollars difference. I would say NJPW World is best. For Battle in the Valley, you should definitely go through Fight if it's available on Fight, because I don't think it makes any sense that you pay $8.99 American for a New Japan World and then have to pay extra for a pay-per-view. So
is that the deal? Is that the deal?
That's the deal for Battle in the Valley.
Oh, come on. They killing me with this, man.
Yes. But I think New Japan World is smooth on the TV, even on Fire Stick. I have it on Fire Stick and it always runs pretty smooth for me. Ninja Mortis says, I'd say Fight because you can keep it after you cancel your sub. So yeah, that's also true. So difference. There's always going to be different opinions on that, but let's actually break stuff down. Sound off in the live chat. Give us your match of the night. MVP, LVP for both night 1 and night 2 of NJPW, the New Beginning in Sapporo. We got Ninja Mortis saying SP3 was spoiled by the network. Yeah, I was spoiled by the network, getting $9.99 for everything. That's how New Japan World should be as well. But let's put our thumbs in the middle, J News, for first night 1 of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the New Beginning in Sapporo in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up for night 1. Let's put it back in the middle. NJPW, the New Beginning in Sapporo, night 2 in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board for both shows. Out of 10, what did you give night 1? What do you give night 2?
I gotta rewatch night 2. So night 2 is up in the clouds.
Just give me night 1 then. Give me night 1.
Night 1, I would give it a. I'm gonna be fair to. Because of the Ospreay Taichi match, because of the junior tag team match, and what they were able to do there, I know for a fact that the damn multi-man tag team matches took me the hell out of the damn show, and that was about a good 2/3 of the show at that point. Easy 7. The main event didn't do what it needed to do. I give it a 7 just because those 2 matches that I mentioned before, they took it up another notch and stuff like that. And unfortunately, the main event dropped the ball. So we'll see how that goes. What about
I
you?
go 7.5 out of 10 for night 1, and I go 8 out of 10 for night 2.
Okay.
So match of the night, I'll just ask you for night 1, J News.
Night 1 match tonight. Ospreay Taichi.
Ospreay and Taichi, we're both in agreement there, even though the junior tag was very
Oh,
close.
that was very good.
And my night 2 match of the night is very close between those final 2 matches. I love those final 2 matches, but I will always take a match at 15 minutes. That's an absolute banger over a 30-minute banger. I love that ZSJ and Zack and Hiromu Ishii. There was no fluff. It was all thriller, no filler. That is a must watch if you haven't watched it already. ZSJ versus Tomohiro Ishii for the NJPW World Television Championship. MVP for night 1, J News.
MVP for night 1. Damn. I mean, I hate to default to it, but like just because of the level that he's at right now, I'll give it to Will. It's just because of what he's been able to produce from an in-ring standpoint for the last month, or not even the last month, the last whatever you want to give him at the end of the day.
I would say the last like 3-4 years.
Yeah, exactly.
The hell of a run.
On the hell of a run. So yeah, MVP of night 1, I give it to Will Ospreay. That is. So yeah, I'll hang that on there.
MVP of night 1, I gotta go co-MVP for everyone in that junior tag match, that junior heavyweight tag team match. Doki, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Cash 22. Cash 22 is making the junior tag division must watch again, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Doki make a great team, and I didn't expect them to be that great. And night 2, I will go my MVP, another co-MVP of Hiromu Takahashi and Yo. They had a tall order following that World Television title match, and they had a hell of a match that I rated the same, 4.5 stars to close out night 2 in Sapporo. Romeo, to answer your question, what was better, NXT or any of these nights? Night 1 was on par with NXT. I gave NXT Vengeance Day 7.5 out of 10. It had a great match with the opener, but kind of peaked at that. NXT Vengeance Day. All of the other matches were good to very good, but none of them were as great as the opener. Whereas with this one, the New Beginning night 1, they had 2 back-to-back absolute bangers, great matches with the junior tag and Ospreay versus Taichi, and then they fell flat with the main event. The main event of New Beginning in Sapporo night 1 is on par with the steel cage match of Braun Breaker versus Grayson Waller. And night 2 is by far better than NXT Vengeance Day for sure. But Jay News, who was your LVP for night 1?
You know where I'm going, but I think that it's a fair criticism just for tonight. It's not going to derail his career or whatever the case is, but night 1's LVP for me is the shooter. It's tough for me to even come forward to say that, but like, yeah, man, the nerves got to him, kid. There's nothing else I could really say, and for that to have happened on such a big stage for him is disappointing. But I'm sure he'll bounce back. So, but my LVP for night 1 is shooter.
Yeah, unfortunately it is night 1. I have to give it to Shota Umino. He had a big opportunity here and it just fell flat. It did not deliver at all. And night 2 LVP, that is a little bit tougher, but I'm just going to go with my default. House of Torture. They lost back-to-back nights. They said that never openweight titles were retired, and Suzuki called their bluff, and now they have to defend those titles in Osaka. So I'll go with my default of always. It's House of Torture. But yes, that brings us to a close for another review. We want to thank everybody for sounding off in the live chat. If you're watching this on demand, let us know in the comments down below, especially one of my good brothers who always loves New Japan content on the channel, Kayfabe Tactics. Let me know in the comments down below your match of the night, MVP, LVP, what you rated both shows in Sapporo this past weekend. And J News, I want you to give them your social medias and also let the people know what you think about Kota Ibushi, now a free agent and going to be in GCW against Speedball Mike Bailey at Bloodsport 9 on March 30th.
So Always glad to be the main focus of a freaking shot. For the socials, _JONJY on Instagram. Like I always like to say, I am friendly. I like to participate, and I like to, just chat it up with folks about whatever it is that they want to chat it up about. Leave religion and politics out of my goddamn DMs, by the way. But anyways, outside of that, this is news to me at this point. SP3 just broke some news. I wasn't aware of this at all, that Kota Ibushi is now a free agent. I saw a headline 2 days ago in regards to Kota Ibushi being offered a boxing match in Japan. I wasn't aware that he was going to be making a GCW foray to face against Speedball Mike Bailey. Speedball Mike Bailey, one of my favorite wrestlers in the last decade. Don't watch enough of his work on Impact now, just because I've never been a fan of Impact. So, but I know he's doing good things. So, hey man, that should be a great match. Free agent Kota Ibushi, huh?
Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, he's free at last.
I mean, obviously, the obvious connection is there, right? Him going to AEW, him obviously having the ties to Kenny Omega and other wrestlers there as well. Not just I know that him and Kenny have a personal relationship, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of matches we haven't. Man, I mean, come on. Can we get that? Can we get Bryan Danielson versus Kota Ibushi? Can we get that?
Can we get Kenny and Kota without them holding back? The last time they had a match, they held back and they had 5.5 stars in the G1. That's what they have personally both said. They've said they were holding back because they thought they were going to get another match either at like a Wrestle Kingdom or some down the line, and they never got it in New Japan. I need Kenny and Kota go at it again.
So do you think? And this is obviously hypothetical booking. Do you think they'll go Golden Lovers first and then into the because that makes more sense. And then Kota AEW, I think that should be a lock. Like I said, Bryan Danielson's a dream match versus Kota. I also want to see him and Takeshita tear the freaking house down, because that's gotta happen. That's just gotta happen. So
another person he has history with, in DDT. So
man. So that's definitely something I want to see there as well. I mean, let him make his rounds, see as to where he lands and stuff like that. I'm not too sure if he's gonna want to come to the States like that. I'm not too sure as to what his personal situation is and whatnot. So, a lot of the guys who work in AEW, obviously they're based in America, outside of Pac, right? Or Pac, whatever you want to say. Fucking Stanley. It is what it is. Stan the man. Anyways,
now you're just going off on a tangent.
But at the end of the day, I don't know what his situation is. I don't know how they're gonna do the whole travel thing. But I would love to see him in AEW. I don't think WWE would be a good choice for Kota, just because how promo driven WWE is, and that's not necessarily that's not a strong suit at the end of the day. So it is what it is there. So yeah.
All right. Well, you could follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHeelSP3. That's where you can see all my content on everywhere else. You got the NJPW podcast over on Wrestling Ace Techers. A new episode is going to be dropping later this week. You can follow Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TrueHeelHeat. Patreon.com/TrueHeelHeat. $3 a month. We'll have predictions. Calling out Romeo, hopefully he's still watching, make the predictions for Osaka, because there's some big matches on that card. And of course, stay locked here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. This Friday, we got our NJPW, the New Beginning in Osaka preview for Patreon backers. We'll have that up, I believe, later today or tomorrow up on patreon.com/True Heel Heat. You can also check out True Heel Heat 211 with myself, Miss Chrissy Love, and special guest Nate Milton of the NWA podcast. You had Miss Chrissy Love and Stephanie Hypes yesterday. We're serving Face and Heels number 19, talking all things women's wrestling, including their review of Stardom's Supreme Fight main event between Julia and Suzu Suzuki for the World of Stardom Championship. And then, of course, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. It is Rated Raw Superstars, Drunk Guy JJ, the True Jaw Josh, maybe Romeo. I don't know if it's a big enough night for Romeo to make a special appearance, but you'll see the gang here 8 p.m. Eastern time. So join us live for that tonight. I want to thank J News. I want to thank everyone in the chat. You guys have been great interacting with us, telling us the damn thing, telling us your thoughts on NJPW, the new beginning in Sapporo. So we appreciate that. But for J News, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been our NJPW, the new beginning in Sapporo, nights 1 and 2 review. We are signing off until next time.